Hello, champions. I welcome you all to today's learning bite about Get Set Go, which is all about the art of finishing every task. And let's begin with a very interesting and short story for all of you here. If you're excited to begin, give me a thumbs up. Great, thank you. Well, this story is about three fish, and do have a good laugh at the end of it because there is so much fun and so much learning. So these three fish lived in a pond, and one was named Plan Ahead, the other was Think Fast, and the third was called Wait and See. One day they heard a fisherman say he would be going to cast his net in their pond the next day. Plan Ahead said, I'm swimming down the river tonight. The Think Fast fish said, I'm sure I will come up with a plan, so I'll wait. And Wait and See lazily said, I just can't think about it right now. Give me some time. So when the fisherman cast his net the next day, Plan Ahead was able to escape from his net and was safe. But Think Fast and Wait and See were caught by the fisherman. Now Think Fast quickly rolled his belly up and pretended to be dead. Oh, this fish is no good, said the fisherman, and threw him safely back into the water. However, Wait and See, which had decided to wait and see, ended up in the fish market. Now, this is what people say in times of danger. When the net is cast, plan ahead or plan to think fast. Don't wait and see. Now, this short story about three fish brings to us this learning that it's not always enough to just wait and see. It's about taking action also. And in today's session, we are going to understand the importance of understanding and developing the art of finishing every task, because it is only when, so everybody can get excited with something which is new and exciting, but it's only when we finish things that the effort really matters. So it's very natural for people to get excited by the initial idea, begin sketching, designing, planning. But it's only when we must do the less fun things, when the real work starts, then the thing starts to fall apart. When the fun part reduces, the interest and the excitement and the energy reduces. And then what happens is that the projects and the assignments and the missions are left on shelves because people don't feel that excitement to be continuing with it. So for a lot of us, completing tasks is the difficult bit. It's not the starting of it. And that's natural for everyone. So therefore, in today's session, we are going to talk about how we can master the art of finishing every task with some simple and amazing ideas. If you're ready for that, give me a thumbs up. Cool. Now, this is one symbol that we all are aware of. Since the first lockdown happened, all of us have spent more time on Zoom than with our families. But little do we know about how this platform came to be. It was not really an easy journey, to be very honest. Now, this is Eric Yuan, who came to US from China in the mid-90s to pursue the internet boom, but took a while to get there. The first 8 times he applied for a visa, he was denied. Finally, on the 9th attempt, he was approved, but the process lasted 2 years. In 2012, after working for a Silicon Valley communication startup for years, Yuan founded the communication platform Zoom. Now, here's the interesting part. Zoom started as a daydream, a solution to a long-distance relationship that required a 10-hour train ride to see the other person. But it took careful planning and work to make Zoom the success that it is today. It was only through the vision and the action plan devised by Eric that the company today stands at a staggering value of $62.2 crore. Now, this brings us to our amazing first learning, which is start with a robust plan. Before you start your task, put a detailed plan in place. What does finishing this project look like? Make sure that you cover all your bases and that you're ready to complete the task with the help of a solid plan. This will help avoid any confusion or roadblocks along the way, as you will already have a plan set. So you have something to look forward to, you have something to follow, and you will have something to cling on to and follow that. All right. Now, let's bring our focus now to Rahul. Rahul has a goal to reduce 10 kgs in a single month. He knows that he often tends to get off track while working on his health goals. This time, Rahul has said enough of it. And he has decided to do something different. He has decided to track his everyday progress via a fitness band that he purchased at the beginning of his journey. Now, through this fitness band, he's able to keep a record of his everyday progress and is also able to set the right goals and targets. And it's really, really helping him go nearer the goal that he has for himself. This brings us to our second very, very important learning: track your progress. Every now and again, look at the archived items or the things which are being done. Keep a track of them. So you'll start to appreciate how much you have done and will hopefully lift some of the fatigue that goes along the working. And on the same project for a long time, if you're working, the energy tends to fade off or the excitement reduces. But once you look at the tracking, once you look at how much have I done, where did I start, where am I now, it brings up loads of energy and takes you forward. So tracking your progress not only tells you how much is left, but it also gives you a lot of excitement and motivation as to what all you have achieved. And this brings us to our next aspect here. Now, this is Tesla Roadster, the first electric car produced by Tesla in 2008. When they started their journey, their founder, Elon Musk, had a clear goal in his mind. He wanted to make a car which would run on sustainable energy, such as electricity, and also wanted the car to be efficient enough for long travels. So before Tesla, to be very honest, a lot of companies had made electric cars, but Roadster was one of its kind. In company test, it achieved 245 miles, which is 394 kilometers on a single charge, which is good performance, and a range which is unprecedented for a production electric car. So this huge achievement was possible because Elon Musk had a clear end goal, or to say, what is the final product? He already had that in mind before starting the company itself. His entire vision was intact before getting onto the world. This brings us to our third important learning, which is assemble your end goal or target. What does finished look like? Is it a live deployment? A certain number of subscribers or users? Is it to read a specific number of books? Is a certain number of targets being achieved? Is a certain number of customers being reached out? So it could be anything, but it has to be clear. So the best way to tell if you really finished a project is to have a finish line. It's as simple as that. So this will differ depending on a huge variety of factors, of course. But if you can think about what success looks like, it'll give you a clear target to aim at. This will make completing tasks a lot easier because you already have a vision of the same. All right. And if you found these three ideas useful so far, give me a thumbs up, champions. Cool. Thank you so much. Well, let me now take you to Disneyland. When Walt Disney started over seeing the construction of the first Disney park, he made sure that he had a deadline set for himself and all those working on the construction and planning of the theme park. And you will be surprised to know that they managed to achieve this deadline and made the first ever Disneyland within a span of a year. So this was possible, champions, because of the great planning done and the clear goal or target that was set in the beginning of the project itself. Not only that, each and every team member knew what their target was and they worked systematically to achieve the same in the given time frame. There was something which was guiding them. There was something which was telling them this much time is left, this much work is left, match both of them to achieve success. So they were working on a deadline. And this is what our fourth point is, which is realize and fix an achievable deadline. Because once you have decided to spend a certain amount of time each week or each day on your project, it is important to set that deadline, because you would not only like to see the tracking of the work being achieved, you would also like to see how much work has been achieved in how much time. We can't have eternity or endless time for us to complete any task. But what is important here is to understand and plan not just task, but time as well. And work on not just a bigger deadline of the entire project or the entire goal, but on smaller deadlines as well of smaller tasks and keep tracking them. All right. This was the fourth one. Now let's meet our old friend once again. Remember Rahul? Yes. So within the first week of the weight loss journey, Rahul managed to be consistent and also lost 1.5 kgs. And he was able to keep a track of his activities, his weight loss, how much time is he walking, how many steps is he taking. He was able to do that through his fitness band. But he progressed on to the second week, and that's when he realized that his energy and enthusiasm was dropping a little. So to help himself give a boost, he decided to give himself small treats for the small goals and targets that he achieved along the way. This helped him stay on target and also helped him pick himself up and boost whenever he felt the monotony of the task kick in. It is human nature to get bored or get off track while completing a long task. The best way to stay on track is by celebrating little achievements and targets along the way. And this, champions, brings us to our final point for today's learning, which is treat yourself for achievements along the way. All right. Now, the most important part, have a reward when you have reached the finish line, and keep celebrating and rewarding the little achievements along the way. All work and no play makes Jack a something something. True. I firmly believe that the reward should be proportional to the project you have completed. Don't make it extravagant, but keep that reward in order to keep yourself motivated and pumped up. So the promotions, new jobs, product launches, target achievements, all those big or small things, they need to be celebrated. And we all can make efforts towards it. And we all can definitely learn from it. And we all can definitely benefit from it. And therefore, champions, always remember to start. If you want to finish a task, remember to start. Start what? Let's see here. Start with a robust plan. That's the first thing, because when we have a plan, we have a guiding force, we have we have a roadmap to follow, and we don't feel stranded or we don't feel lost. And then we are definitely on track right there. So start with a robust plan. That planning is really, really crucial. Second is T is track your progress. So tracking your progress tells you if you are on track, if you are going with good speed, or are you going off track, or are you're putting in efforts, but it is not bringing you results. The tracking your progress keeps you on track and keeps you on that route and helps you have maximum benefits out of your efforts. The A in start is assemble your end goal or target. The vision of your goal. What's the final product like? What's the final success looks like? It has to be clear. It has to be assembled and it has to be visualized. When you visualize that, there is a lot of clarity. There is a lot of understanding of what should be done and what should be done beyond this plan as well. So when you make a plan, starting with S, you've made a plan, but once you start visualizing that goal, that end success more and more, you start revising that plan as well, because okay, I had decided on 10 things, but now because I see my visualization of this success bringing this aspects also, these 3-4 things, so you keep on improvising on the plan as well. And because of that, your efficiency, your productivity, the net effect of your efforts also starts increasing, because you are taking more and more factors into consideration. You're not letting anything become a roadblock. You're always focused on having those aspects which are helping you improve consistently. So that happens when you assemble your end goal or target. You find that yes, there is a destination. You don't feel clueless. You don't feel directionless, because once you have a destination, it gets you a direction. All right, awesome. All right, the R in start is realize and fix an achievable deadline. Deadline is really important because we might end up using all the time in small tasks. So it's important to keep a track of time. So if I have say 12 things to do, let's fix time for each of the tasks. Let me do that calculation and let me put some deadline right there, and let me respect that deadline. Let me follow that deadline. Let me comply to that deadline, because then only there are some task, champions, to be very honest, which are completely into our control. So I've got 12 things to do. Maybe 8 out of them are completely under my control. I have to do them. There's nobody else who's going to do them. There's nobody else from whom I need some support. No, it's a standalone job for me. Now, but out of those 12 things, four are some in which probably I need inputs from someone or I need to give inputs to someone. So now these eight tasks are something that I can have my own freedom, my own flexibility of doing the way that they are. And my recommendation is for the tasks that are under your control completely, be very brutal with them. Because when you become brutal with them, when you become really, really strict with them, you tend to complete them before the deadline that you have fixed for those tasks. Ask me why. Ask me why. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because those eight tasks are not going to decide your pace, but those four tasks, which have got some other people's intervention, will eventually decide the pace. So if I am being strict here and I get to save some time and energy here on the tasks that are under my control and I complete them with utmost strictness and little robustness, I am having additional extra time for the tasks which are not under my control. Things might get delayed, the reports might be delayed. There could be some unforeseen situations as well. I am keeping myself prepared for that with that by creating that margin, by being a little stringent and strict with my task. And it's a fairly decent strategy. And people recommend it highly because that's what brings success for you. Because you are taking charge of the task that you have under your control. You're not using your freedom to have it at whatever time you can, but you're making sure that you're completing them even before the deadline that you have, so that you are creating that margin for those unforeseen delays where other people's interventions are required. Sounds cool? Awesome. So that's about realizing and fixing an achievable deadline. And T is treating yourself for achievements along the way. Rewards are very important. Rewards are all about you congratulating yourself, complimenting yourself for the success that you have. And this, on a long run, say the projects are long and it's been too much of efforts for you guys, as a team, as an individual, the energy starts dropping off. But once there is this reward which is going to pump you up, the reward which is going to make you, a lot of zeal, come back with a lot of zeal, then it's worth it. So treat yourself for achievements along the way. So like Rahul, if I have a health goal and I need to reduce that weight, and I'll treat, I have those targets and I've got those deadlines and I meet those deadlines. Say I had a target of losing, say, 1.5 kgs in, say, 2 weeks of time. I'll take a decently moderate goal here. But if I had this task of, or this deadline of reducing 1.5 kgs, say in 2 weeks, and I do that, I'll treat myself to something which is not, not contrasting with my goal. So I wouldn't say that I would treat myself to an ice cream. No, I wouldn't do that because that's going to contrast with my goal of losing weight. But I'll probably treat myself to something really amazing. Say, probably I'll start sketching something or something that makes me feel happy, or I'll dance it out, or I'll just sing a song. Anything that makes you happy, dedicate that act to your success. Dedicate that act to this achievement. And that's how we keep moving and we keep rolling on the journey of success. With this, champions, I congratulate you all. You are all set to win. And your friends in Gurukul are waiting to hear from you. How did you like this webinar? And if you would also want to share with them, how do you plan to implement these learnings into your real life? Do write to them with a photo or a short video of 30 seconds, of course in a formal attire, to gurukul.hdfcbank@gmail.com. And if your entries are featured at the best entries, they would be featured on our world. So all the best champions, do write to them and share your ideas and your plan of implementing these learnings. And if you wish to be on more such learning joy rides with us, feel free to connect with us. My name is Yasha Vatsa from Star Consulting Global. I'll be happy to connect back with you over LinkedIn. And with this, I thank you very much for being a part of today's session. These learnings will definitely help you become much more focused and not just start great tasks, but finish them. And with this, I wish you all the very best, champions. Thank you. Namaste.